Hello, my name is Janima, and I'm in the Introduction to Chemistry. And to review the last 5 modules, the one that made the most sense to me is the Introduction to Matter. The matter is the most easiest to me because we can see examples of this in everyday life, just like liquid in a container. You pour it out, you can see it takes on a different shape, versus when you pour it back into the container, it takes on the shape of the container. Versus solids, they still has the same shape versus when you put it in a container or versus when you put it out of the container. And also looking at pure substance, also looking at elements versus mixtures. Pure substance, it is like exactly the name. It's pure. It only has one item versus a compound, which is also an element. A compound is basically two or more items that can be mixed together. But the difference between a compound and a mixture is compounds are typically harder to separate. They're like basically like water. Um, and mixtures has there's two types of mixture. There's homogeneous and is heterogeneous. Homogeneous has the same mixtures versus heterogeneous but has different mixtures throughout the substance. And also, if we had to choose one of the modules to explain to a person that never took chemistry, I think I could be able to explain the module with isotope that explains isotopes. Basically, I will start off in the beginning explaining what atoms are. So, atom is basically has three subatomic particles. One of them is electron, which is outside of the nucleus, and they have negative charge. And then there's protons, which are inside the nucleus, which has positive charge, and there's also neutrons, which has a neutral charge. Electrons and protons always have the same amount, versus neutrons, they can either have the same amount of protons or a different amount of neutrons. And the different amount of, if they have a different amount from the proton, that's what makes them that's what makes them an isotope. The protons do not have the same amount of neutron, and that also gives them a personality. If they don't have the same amount of protons, they might be unstable or just have a different characteristic than the normal original element. And the hardest module I had to go over was the conversion, and half of it was I wasn't really taught to do conversion like this, or I just didn't learn to do conversion like this because it just makes it harder for me, and just word problems in math just also makes it harder. So I also have to put the words in a specific set to a way that I really don't to a way that I don't even understand how to solve the math problem. So, for example, to take a question out of the introduction, the mastery to chemistry, is the running track problem. So basically, it goes by like one lap of running track measures 255 meters, and to run 10 kilometers, how many laps would you run? So you gotta find like three different conversions to it. You have to do 3 different conversions to it. You gotta transfer meters to kilometers, kilometers into laps, and I guess it's just kind of hard to just put that all into like a formula, or just put them together where you can just multiply it how it is. I'm usually learned by like I was usually learning how to solve from x. So for me, it would be 10 kilometers over x multiplied by 1 kilometer over 10 to the power of 3 meters. Because we're trying to find kilometers, meters. First, I would do that and separate it, and then do meters to laps. That's but versus in the textbook is done by just putting it all together, and you multiply the top and then you multiply the bottom, and you just divide the outcome. But that's basically it, and have a great rest of your day.